Let me know when I can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Okay. Cool. So, to get started, I'm gonna create a new file, and then I'm just gonna go through the workflow of how to create a bridge layout sheet with Open Roads Designer. Open Roads Designer. So I'm gonna just create a new file. The seed that you're going to want to use is from, I guess, the project that you're going to be working on. In this case, I'm going to use Borderland Expressway Phase 2 as a go-by project. So, but the seed files will all be in the same place, but within your project, right? So it's going to be here, PW setup, work set, your project, standards, design seed, and 2D. So 2D files are the files that we normally use. 3D is only for terrain files. So that's the only, even if you're doing a 3D model or whatever, you're going to be using 2D files. 3D file, seed file is only for terrain models. So I'll click on this one. This is the one that we're going to use. And so I haven't actually mentioned, but the file that I'm creating right now is a motif or container file. So I'll name it that. Bridge. And I'll hit OK. So now I'm in a blank file, and what I'm going to want to do is reference in the files that you need in your motif or your container. So wherever your files are, your master design files are, reference those. So I'll get all these alignment files for this project, the topo right away, and then I'll get the EOP. And we'll also need the bridge base file. So that's this one. And these should be the main files that we're going to be using. So I'll reference all those. So now we have all our files referenced, and the bridge that I'm going to be doing is Stan Roberts for this project. So here we have the main lanes. This is the northbound side. The northbound's going this way, and it's crossing over Stan Roberts Road. And this is the bridge that we're going to be doing the sheets for. So I'll turn on and off the levels that you do and do not need. But for the most part, this looks correct. So let me mention something is, so how you're going to want to do motif files or container files in Open Roads Designer is it should be that there's no annotations in the alignment files when you bring them in. So really, this shouldn't be showing here. So I'm gonna actually turn it off. I'll turn that off. And I guess the reason I'm saying that is because all your annotations for your alignments should be annotated in this motif file. And to do that, you'll come to drawing production, annotate element here. And then you'll just click on the alignment that you want to annotate. And then you'll right click. And it'll annotate it for you. Okay, so it thought a little bit there, but then in the end it annotated our alignment. So if you see here, you're gonna want to change this to whatever scale you need your sheets in. So in this case, bridge layouts are usually at 40 scale. So we'll change this to 40, and you'll see that the annotations are going to update and they're going to get smaller. And we'll come in here and turn off this, whatever this is. We don't need to show this. So now this is the correct scale that it needs to be displayed at. And all you do is change this if you have a different scale. So so now what you need to do is you need to place your named boundaries, is what they're called here. Named boundaries. So what named boundaries are is basically, if you can see my PDF here, it's basically the box that is within the sheet, or the box that you want to show inside the sheet. So really, we need to create a name boundary for this plan view here, and then also for the second sheet. And how you do that is you just click on name boundary here. You'll look at the dialog box that it gives you. Here, this little button is the plan view. I guess the name boundaries for the plan view. And we're going to keep this at this scale. You can name these whatever you want them to be. And so now we'll need to, as soon as we click name boundary, we'll look here in the bottom and it says identify path element. So that basically means to pick your alignment that you want. So we'll pick the alignment. And not sure why this is. This should let me uncheck this. Let me get out of here. See name boundary. Okay. So I'm just going to do the same thing, right? All I did was click name boundary. I'm going to select my alignment, and now I see this white line here. So I know what the start of my sheet needs to be. So I know that it needs to be at, check real quick, it's 7:18:10. Oh. So I hit the escape button. So let me do that one more time. I'll identify this. 7, 18, 10. I'll hit tab so that it locks here. And you're going to want to make sure that your length here is a multiple, or is a multiple of 1200, or else your I guess when it cuts the sheets, or else these numbers will be either outside or inside of your sheet limits. So just keep that in mind. So for 40 scale, you're going to want this length to be 480. If it was 20 scale, then you want it to be 240. I know those are the main scales that bridge layouts use. So I would just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna left click. There we go. So now when you left click, then you can see that it's kind of creating the sheet boundaries for you. Or in this case, they're called name boundaries. They were usually called sheet clips or something along those lines previously. This left and right offset can be changed also. So if I change it to 80, then this line, I guess all this offset means is the offset from your baseline that you chose. So if I go to 120, then it's going to be way out here. And the same thing for the right side. So in this case, I guess I'm just going to use 100. You can change it to whatever you want it to be. Okay, so now when I'm done, when my sheets envelope my bridge, then I'll left click. And then I'll left click again because it's asking me, it's saying to accept data point in plan view to place boundary. So I'm going to accept. So now I have my name boundary, my name boundaries for the plan view inside of my Motif file. So the next thing we'll need to do is create the name boundaries for the profile. So we'll click on our alignment. Open the profile view. Open the profile model here. So now we have our plan view name boundaries, and we need to get our profile name boundaries of the same limits inside here. So what we're going to do is place name boundary again, except instead of here for the plan view, we're going to go here to the profile view. And if you notice here, this says 8 row for the name boundary setting. And all that means is there's 8 rows for your profile to show. So just keep that in mind. If you ever need, I guess, a couple more, we do have settings for 10 rows, but for this example, we'll use 8 rows. And we'll choose the scale. Our method is going to want to be from plan group, which is the group that we just created. So these name boundaries are associated, or I guess are linked together through a plan group, and this is the group that it was called. And so one of the main things that y'all are going to want to change is the vertical exaggeration. So we're gonna want that at 1. And I guess the rest is fine to keep how it is. We'll click on this and use terrains, and then we'll follow the prompt here. So it's going to say identify profile view. So we'll left click in here. And if you see the boundaries of the plan view are now populated in the profile view. So now I'm going to left click. And so now we have the name boundaries in the plan view, name boundaries in the profile view. So what you're going to want to do from here is you're going to want to draw your bridge inside of this view here. So that's a key thing that you're going to want to know. This is something that I guess Amir and I figured out while we were working on the Lufkin project, but we figured out that this is going to be the best way to do it. So anything you draw in here, like all your bridge elements that you draw, your offsets for the rail or your abutments, your columns or whatever, draw them here, and then they're going to show up whenever we when we cut our sheets here in a second. So just to show you that it works. Sorry, is someone gonna?
Yeah, I just had a question. So instead of like previously you draw like a whole separate profile file, you basically just like draw it directly in this like motif file that we've created, and it'll come through.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So I guess I'll just draw a couple blocks here. I'll just say, okay, this is the abutment. Or, well, it's not going to be there. It's going to be somewhere here. You know, just to kind of show you that it's going to populate in the sheet. So you're going to want to draw your bridge however it looks, however it is. And then once we cut the sheets right now using our name boundary dialog here, then you'll be able to see whatever you draw and all your changes that you make in this file, but you're going to want to do it in this file. So you don't have to do it twice, essentially, when you cut your sheets. And it'll make more sense later once we actually cut them. So I'll do that now. So when you're cutting the sheets, you're going to want this dialog, and all I did was click this button here. You're going to want this toggled on, so you're going to want this highlighted. Show the create drawing dialog. This is what you're going to want. We'll come here to your groups. Then you're going to click here on the group. And you're going to either right click and hit create plan profile drawing, or you just click this button here. So I'm going to just click on this one. And this is going to pop up. And you're going to want this checked. You'll come here and you'll choose wherever you want it to go. So if I wanted this to go in the plan sheets of whatever project, then that's where I would put them. In this case, I'm going to put them in my working folder. And all we need to do here is change the scale to whatever your scale, whatever scale the drawing is. I'll come here, make sure these are selected. And what I was also telling Amir is that we need to develop some bridge specific annotation groups, and that's something that we can work on. But the way it comes out, it looks pretty nice. There's a little bit of tweaking that needs to be done, but for the most part, it looks it comes out nice. So we'll make sure to change this to 40 also. And I think we should be good here. And all this box does is it's going to create a sheet for each name boundary inside the location of wherever you tell it to. So once I click OK, then it'll go through the process.
Yeah, I guess one thing I just wanted to add, which happened to me, is just a lot of clicking and everything here in the process. In case you get lost, it's always good to pay attention to the corner left where the status bar is. It always helps you to tell you which stage in the process you are, and what command is asking right now. So that status bar at the bottom left is really helpful.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So if you're ever inside a command and you kind of don't know what to do, just look down here and you can see that, okay, I just clicked the name boundary. Now it's asking me to identify profile view. So if you didn't know that you were in the profile name boundaries, then now you do, then you can switch to plan if you need to and do those kind of things. So it's good to look here every once in a while if you get lost, I guess. But so here's what a layout looks like, I guess. It's pretty basic. I mean, alignments still need to get called out, the bins, whatever station they are. The profile still needs to get drawn, but as you see, the elements that I drew in the motif get populated here. And just to let you all know, so this is the sheet model of of the sheet, I guess, that's been cut. And there's two other models that get created when you're creating sheets with OpenRose Designer. One is the drawing model, which is basically the plan view model. And here is where you're going to want to add all your annotations. So you're going to want to call out the alignment, call out your bends, and do all that stuff here in this model. So this is going to be the drawing model. Then you'll have the profile model, where you're going to want to do also your annotations. But the difference is, I guess, you're going to be drawing your bridge elements inside the bridge motif, and then you'll just come here, and then you'll annotate. You'll annotate the bends and all that other stuff. All this stuff here, all the callouts will be inside here, and all your bridge elements will be inside the motif. And really, the only thing that the sheet model does is it references the two models. So this is the sheet model. This is the one that we're in. And these are the two drawing models, the plan view, and this is the profile. So all the sheet model does is it references those. So you really don't, you really shouldn't be trying to annotate in the sheet model. The only thing you would need to really change is the title block, I guess. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I can go to the first sheet so we can see how that looks. So this is the location that I told the software to put my sheets. And this is the first sheet that was created. So I'm going to come here just to check it out, see how it looks. So Yeah, this looks pretty close to at least the limits of the sheet that this go by is showing.
Hey Trey, when you need to put like general notes or other notations on a sheet, do they go on the sheet or in the past you just do all the way we used to do bridges, we do all the notations in the sheet file. With the notations for the plan and the plan motif and likewise for the profile, is there anything that you can put like on the sheet itself?
On here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. So if you wanted to put
Okay.
notes, here,
Yeah.
then you can. But I would definitely keep your annotations, I guess, in the plan view or profile view inside these models.
Okay.
But you can add notes here. Usually what we did for BLE, at least on the roadway side, is there's a model for the border that we have, and that's where we update our legend and notes. So that's something that I guess that's one way to do it, but you can definitely just add your notes here on the side in this sheet model.
Okay.
I guess one benefit to this is when you have like a long bridge, multiple spans, doing this automatically would cut sheet maybe up to, I don't know how many you need for the bridge layout, maybe 10, 15 sheet, simultaneously without have to going through each one of them. And if you draw just one profile in your motif, which covered the whole length of the bridge, it'll start like just by whatever match line you define, you start doing piece by piece of each one of those into the model for the sheet. So you don't have to be worried about like changing it and everything inside every single one of those. You just have to update the motif file profile in case you want to make an update, and automatically all the sheet would update accordingly to that. Yeah, I guess that's really helpful in creating bridge layout. When it comes to the other type of sheet that we typically need for the bridge, I don't know, superstructure slab sheet, typical section, all those can be still cut the same way that we used to. It doesn't have to be this way. However, we can still use it. You can use this method to also cut those sheets, but I guess it's mostly coming to play with the setting and everything that it has for the bridge layout. Yeah, I guess that's my experience with it.
So there is
one thing, Trey.
Go.
Yeah, go ahead. One thing I recognize for this elevation at the profile, I think they are like 5 feet increment.
Mm-hmm.
What is the increment on the? How can you change it to maybe like, I don't know, 10 feet? I thought we said 8 line to be defined.
Yeah,
but definitely there's
20. This is 20.
20, even 20. Yeah. So how can we change that to be like a different increment, like every 20?
That's something that we need to, I guess, the bridge. I guess y'all as a group can, y'all can have, I don't know, like maybe I can work with someone so we can figure out how exactly y'all want it. Because I mean, these are the settings that are like straight out of the box, right? So they're not going to be
okay.
tailored to the bridge scales or groups or you know what I mean, like the type,
yeah,
or how y'all want to display as sheets. But it's something that we can definitely do to where y'all don't have to mess with anything, like you just cut them and then it comes out the way you want it to. So it's just a matter of maybe us just following this go by and then seeing how you'll have it set up and figuring out the changes that we need to make in the settings so that it comes out the way, like here, there's less lines as there are here, which is something that we can do. You see, there's less lines horizontally here. So, but yeah, it's something that we can work on to to make it easier for y'all whenever y'all start using it.
Yeah. So it's part of like the ORD sheet creation settings that needs to be changed, right?
Yeah. So when I come here, let's see. Oh, let me go back to the motif and I can show you. I'll show you how or where we're gonna change what we're gonna change. So when you come here, and I'm in my create drawing dialog, then this controls all the annotations here. All right, this one is for the plan view and this one's for the profile view. So as long as we create an annotation groups specifically for the bridge, for a bridge layout. So I'm guessing we'll add a folder and then we'll call it bridge, then it'll be bridge annotation, then you would click on that one. Then it would have the settings that y'all need and the way y'all like y'all sheets. So it would be the same for the profile. You would have, okay, profile, then you create another folder, then it'd be bridge profile, bridge omega profile. Then you click on that and then it would populate and then it would be just like this. You know, so I think it's just a couple things that we can maybe tweak and then it would be fine, I think. But that's my thought on that, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
Are there any other questions? I know it's for someone that hasn't had any experience with open roads. I know it would be a lot of information. So, but I can I guess answer or try to answer any questions that y'all may have right now. If not, then you can watch the video, you know, test it out for yourself. I would get familiar with drawing your profiles in this view, which is all this view is here is the profile view of whatever alignment you choose. So let's say you wanted to draw the bridge for the southbound. All you're gonna want to do is click on the southbound alignment, which is here. Click on this, open profile model, and then you'll open up a view, say 3. You'll put it in here. Then you find your location of the bridge, wherever it is. Let's say it's at 764. Then you can start drawing your bridge. So that's something that I would get familiar with if I was doing it this way.
For retaining walls, would it be kind of the same process? I know Amir, I think you might have more of an idea on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, retaining walls is the same exact workflow.
Okay.
Same exact.
Yeah, it's just that vertical exaggeration setting. Instead of putting 1:1, I guess for profile of the retaining wall is 1:10. I guess that's all you need to change. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you're gonna want to change the vertical exaggeration, whatever you want it to be, and then you'll make sure that the length of the name boundary will make sure that it's a multiple of 1200. So as long as you have those two things, then it'll come out. Then it'll show up within the limits of the sheet, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had like one or two other things.
Sure.
Trey, I remember asking you, have you had to do like Excel tables yet with open roads? Have you found like a good way?
Oh.
Because I found like a work through, because unfortunately there's nothing like quite like Axiom yet that I found. But there are some built-in functions within open roads, but I've noticed it kind of corrupts some Excel files. It makes them almost unusable if you link them directly like that. But I just didn't know if you had come up with something or seen something.
used Excel files
Gotcha.
with open roads yet. What we have done is we've created tables using, I think it's this one actually. Yeah, place table element, something like this. But I know I mean, this is like something that you do manually, which is what you're saying is you want something that you've already done to be placed into open roads. So yeah, I'm not sure. I wouldn't look into it for sure.
Gotcha, yeah. Because I found the workaround is pretty easy. You can just like Control C your table in like the actual Excel, and then Control V in the doc in the DGN. It just like comes through as like a picture apparent almost.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
it's
have done that in the past too.
yeah, it's like a little workaround. It doesn't update automatically, which is annoying, but
Yeah,
for I know for our
Definitely
Lufkin
changes.
project, yeah, I couldn't find any other way to really do it.
yeah, there's definitely one way as long as it shows up. I guess
Yeah.
wanted to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I had one or two things I was going to show the group too. Just it's more like setup of the program, if that's cool.
Sure. You want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I remember the biggest headache I had was just trying to figure out how to use it the same way Geopack was. So getting all the tools set up and everything, that was like kind of a big headache, getting the pointer system. But basically it's kind of the same. We just go to File, Settings, and then this is kind of the same. So user and then like preferences, and this is where stuff comes up for like input if you want the pointer size, or operation if you want the two application windows. And then something I found really useful was I set it up to where I can do number inputs, because I know for me personally that's how I used a lot of Geopack, was just number inputs if I wanted to copy. So it'd be like 3, 1 or whatever. And so that's definitely an option. I figured out a way you can do that.
Oh yeah, where is that? Because I've been wanting to do that actually.
Yeah, definitely. It's really useful. Let me so file some persons. So you go to this file, user, and then you do preferences, and then it's this position mapping, and you want to click it on, and then this should be AS, and then this is the one where it's like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and these are all kind of like auto populated, and then after that, there's one other thing. You need to go to ribbon, and then change this position map groups menu or to menu. So then once you do that, it's pretty easy because you can then just do 3, 1, and it'll come up. And the way to get it like MicroStation is you can kind of create your own ribbon tools. So these are the ones that like obviously come with it. So the open road modeling, I kind of was testing, like messing around with like my own like TW. And I've kind of set it up to where like it's the same number inputs as it was in Geopack. So like 5 will be like change attributes and stuff. And for me, that's definitely like sped up my process instead of having to like find the visual tool or find it in the right ribbon and whatnot. But
So now those shortcut for with the numbers on top of the keyboard is working.
yeah, so now I can just like I'm just gonna press, if I wanted to do like a copy, I'll just do 3, and then it pops up
3.
here, and I can either press 1 for copy,
Okay.
or I can do
Oh, okay.
something else like that. And that's definitely sped up a lot of my CAD work, which has been nice. But yeah,
That's good.
that's pretty much the only thing I had. But definitely, if you want like a step by step, I have it written down as well. I can always send out if anyone wants it.
Yeah,
Cool.
sure. If you can send that out for me, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'll send that over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much all I had. Thanks again, Trey,
Yeah, no problem,
for
guys.
walking us through that.
Yeah, are there any other questions? And I'll send you all the video so y'all can, I guess, use it as a reference if you ever need to.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Trey. Appreciate it for training.
Yeah, Trey, I posted a link to a folder on the S drive. If you wouldn't mind, after with this video being recorded, if you wouldn't mind just downloading it and placing it in that folder, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sounds good, John.
Excellent. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. It's informative.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, everyone.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.